Your father smells like pine cleaner and coffee every morning when he leaves. He wears a dark green uniform with his name stitched above the left breast pocket in white thread. Henry. Just Henry. No last name. He has worked the night shift at Westfield Memorial Hospital in Sacramento, California for 19 years. He mops floors. He empties bins. He wipes down surfaces in corridors where people are born and people die, and people wait to find out which one is happening to someone they love. He does this 5 nights a week from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., and he has never once called in sick in 19 years. You have checked. The hospital has a record of perfect attendance that the facilities manager mentions every year at the staff appreciation lunch, and every year your father smiles and says he just likes to show up. He is worth $3.8 billion. You are 14 years old when you find out. Not from him. Not from your mother, who has known since before you were born and has constructed an entire life around this specific silence. You find out because of a broken laptop. Your laptop breaks on a Sunday afternoon, and your father says, "Use mine." It is on the desk, and you sit down at an ordinary second-hand desk in an ordinary second-hand office chair, and you open the browser, and the last page he had open is still there. It is not a news article. It is not a Forbes profile. It is a private banking portal, the kind that doesn't advertise, the kind whose homepage has no prices, because if you need to ask, you are not the client. The account balance, visible on the screen before you close it in the next 4 seconds, is $847 million. This is one of 7 accounts. You see this because the sidebar is open. 7 accounts. You do not add them up in the moment. You add them up later, in bed, staring at the ceiling of your bedroom in a house that costs $340,000 in a suburb of Sacramento, California, where your father drives a 2011 Ford Focus and your mother packs her own lunch, and the laptop you just borrowed is 4 years old and has a crack in the corner of the screen. Your father's name is Henry Kwon. He was born in 1971 in Incheon, South Korea, the son of a fisherman and a seamstress. He came to the United States at 22 with $400 and a degree in computer science from a university in Seoul that nobody in Sacramento has ever heard of. He built a software company in a 1-bedroom apartment in San Jose, starting in 1996. He sold it in 2004 for $1.1 billion. He took the money. He paid his taxes, $387 million in federal and state taxes, paid in full, on time, without dispute. A fact that his accountant still describes as the most remarkable thing he has witnessed in 30 years of practice. He kept the rest. He invested quietly. He never spoke to the press. He gave no interviews. He disappeared from every database that tracks such things with a thoroughness that suggests it required considerable effort and considerable legal assistance. And then, in 2005, he applied for a custodial position at Westfield Memorial Hospital in Sacramento. He listed his previous employment as self-employed, various. He was hired at $18.50 an hour. He has received every annual raise. He currently earns $24.80 an hour. He has never mentioned the $1.1 billion to his supervisor. His supervisor thinks Henry is the most reliable employee he has ever managed, and worries sometimes about what the department will do when Henry retires. You do not confront him immediately. This is not because you are afraid. It is because you are his son and you have learned, without being explicitly taught, that the important things in your family are addressed at the right moment and not before. You wait 11 days. You choose a Sunday morning. He has just come home from his shift. He smells like pine cleaner and is making coffee in the kitchen, still in his uniform. The name above the pocket, Henry. You sit down at the kitchen table. You say, "Dad, I used your laptop 2 weeks ago." His back is to you. He is pouring coffee. There is a pause of approximately 3 seconds. Then he turns around. He looks at you with dark, steady eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. He says, "How much did you see?" You tell him. He nods once. He sits down across from you with his coffee. He says, "I have been thinking about how to have this conversation for 14 years. He tells you all of it. The apartment in San Jose, the company, the $1 billion, the taxes, the decision. He tells you that he was 22 when he arrived in America with $400, and that the $400 felt enormous and precarious, and that when he had $1.1 billion it felt the same, enormous and precarious, but in a different direction, that he did not know how to live inside. He tells you that he watched what wealth did to people he built the company with, how it separated them from things that had kept them honest, how it gave them distance from the world in a way that made them, eventually, unable to see it clearly. He tells you that he thought about this for a long time. He tells you that he became a janitor because a janitor cannot be separated from the world. A janitor is inside every room. A janitor sees everything. The wealthy patients on the private floor, and the uninsured ones in the overflow ward, and the exhausted nurses, and the terrified families, and the doctors who are brilliant, and the administrators who have forgotten what the building is for. He tells you that 19 years of mopping floors at Westfield Memorial has taught him more about America than any boardroom he ever sat in. He tells you that he goes home every morning at 7 a.m., knowing exactly what the world is. He tells you that this is worth more than the $3.8 billion, and he means it in a way that is not a performance, and not a philosophy, and not something he read in a book. He means it because it is simply what he found to be true. Your mother knew. Of course she knew. She is a middle school science teacher in Sacramento. She has been a middle school science teacher for 18 years. She drives a 2013 Honda CR-V and brings the same lunch to work and buys clothes at the same stores as her colleagues, and has never once in 18 years behaved as though her family's circumstances are anything other than what they appear to be. She married Henry Kwon in 2007, 3 years after the sale, fully knowing. She chose the man who chose the mop. You understand now the expression she wears sometimes when she watches him leave for his shift in the dark green uniform. It is not pity. It is not resignation. It is the expression of a woman who understood something important about a man before she agreed to share her life with him. You are 16 now. 2 years have passed since the kitchen table conversation. You have told nobody. This is not difficult. You are Henry Kwon's son. You know how to show up and say nothing and let the work speak. There is one thing that happened last month that you have been thinking about. A boy at school, Tyler, whose father is a property developer, who drives a new car and wears the right things and has opinions about people like your father, made a comment. You were in the cafeteria. Tyler saw a photo on your phone of your father in his uniform at the hospital and said, "Is that your dad? That's kind of embarrassing, isn't it?" You looked at Tyler for a moment. You thought about $3.8 billion. You thought about 19 years of perfect attendance. You thought about everything your father knows about the world from the inside of every room that Tyler's father has never entered. You put your phone away. You said, "Not even a little bit." and you meant it in a way that Tyler could not possibly understand, and that you did not explain, because some things are worth more when they stay exactly where they are. Your father comes home at 7:04 this morning. Pine cleaner and coffee and the dark green uniform and Henry above the pocket. He puts his keys on the hook by the door. He starts the coffee maker. He sits at the kitchen table and opens a notebook and writes 3 things in it. 3 things he noticed last night in the hospital that he wants to remember. He does this every morning. He has 41 notebooks going back 19 years. You have read 4 of them. They are the most honest account of America you have ever encountered. They are worth considerably more than $3.8 billion.